It's been a great year of NFL action here on Fox, and it continues with the postseason, which begins next Sunday with an NFC wild card game. Teams and start time remain to be determined next Sunday, right here on Fox.
UFC 182 prelims, Saturday at 7 Eastern on Fox Sports 1.
Lieutenant, fire department says you can't smoke here.
Tell the smoking house behind me.
Action catches bad guys by putting himself in their head.
I'm you.
What do you mean you're me?
I'm a stripper, but what I really want to be is a beautician. I'm a rat-faced podiatrist. I'm a lesbian terrorist.
I'm you.
Don't embarrass yourself gravely. You gotta really hate someone to run over them that many times. Obviously, the husband did it.
Backstrom premieres Thursday, January 22nd on Fox.
Absolutely terrific.
This is your moment.
Oh, yes, yes.
It's a yes from me.
It's a yes from me, too.
Me too.
I need you to sing like you're gonna die tomorrow.
I'm so sorry.
I'm good.
This is the only end zone dance we've seen so far. A defensive battle, 3-3 to score at halftime. We'll be back with more after these messages.
It's the best place to see the ball drop. The Big East New Year's Eve Marathon starts New Year's Eve at 11:30 a.m. on Fox Sports 1.
Oh, wait.
Have fun every 5 minutes with Kentucky's Keno.
Santa, it's for you.
Hi, Santa.
Hello, Jessica.
My friend Tiffany wants a Ford, but Christmas is over, Santa.
Well,
Actually, big guy, the final days of the Ford Dream Big Sales event are going on right now. It's the best time to shop.
well, I think I may have a new Ford in my bag after all.
Thanks, Santa.
Hurry.
Before they're all gone.
It's not too late to get an F-150 with 0 for 60 plus up to $1,500 cash back. Or get up to $8,250 in total savings. But hurry, it all ends January 5th.
Canadian bacon, Italian sausage, Spanish olives. It's like having the whole world in your hands and then in your mouth.
Right now, get any large specialty pizza plus a 2-liter Pepsi product for just $12.99. Order today at papajohns.com.
Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's.
Team, this isn't an even playing field. We're Grade A Auto Parts. We do it all. We give choices. Clint, what are those choices?
A quality selection of new and used auto parts, Coach.
Good. We give great customer service. Vicky, why do we do this?
Customers are the most important part of our business, Coach.
Excellent. We also buy scrap metal. Alex, what does that mean?
Fast cash for your scrap, Coach.
No matter the part, big or small, you can count on Grade A Auto Parts.
Go to kylottery.com to find out how and where to play Keno.
Personal trainer Carlos Rivas is in the gym to show you a 10-minute arm workout, and Miss Teen Kentucky America shows you how to put together a party outfit for those on a tight budget. It's tomorrow, beginning at 5.
Game day. It's time to come together as one to cheer on your Cincinnati Bengals. It's an experience like no other. The beautiful roar of tens of thousands of Bengals fans on their feet and turning it up. Yeah, you can sit on your couch and watch, or you could experience the sights, sounds, emotions, and electricity of Cincinnati Bengals football in person. Cincinnati, let's roar.
biggest music, and it's all hosted by me.
Pitbull's New Year's Revolution, New Year's Eve on Fox.
The score here as we get set for the start of the third quarter, and today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan. Matt Forté, 5th season with 1,000 or more rushing yards. He's had a great year. Well, Mr. Golden Domer, I must ask you, do we expect and anticipate any big plays? We haven't had any yet for either team.
No, we haven't yet, and I'd anticipate some more shots downfield. We've got a tight ball game at 3-3, but neither team's really been able to capitalize in hitting anything downfield, so I'd suspect Alshon Jeffrey's going to get more involved, and Greg Jennings had an opportunity earlier in the game but couldn't bring the catch in. I suspect they'll take more chances this second half. That would have been a 35-yard touchdown, but it was not controlled. Vikings, who won the toss and deferred, get the ball here, and Thielen keeps it on the ground, and the short man will return it and get it out to the 35-yard line. So Thielen is not that deep a kicker, and you kick it out of the end zone, it's the 20, and right now they're going to get it about the 35-yard line. That was Joe Banyard who picked up that loose ball. So the Vikings will start from their 35. Not bad. Not bad. And again, you've got to credit Cordero Patterson for the way he's played this season. He's one of the top in the leagues in returning on kickoff returns, giving the Vikings good field position. So clearly they don't want to give him an opportunity to have a big play of his own. All right, let's see what the first play brings from Teddy Bridgewater. 9 of 14, but for just 85 yards passing. Dropped by Greg Jennings. Let's send it down to Christina Pink.
Thank you, Dick. Well, a tie game at the half, and two coaches talking to me about penalties. Mark Trestman told me at halftime that time of possession was one positive in that first half, but he said twice we got downfield and we hurt ourselves defensively. I think we've been able to control this game. Mike Zimmer telling me that we have to run the ball better and stop hurting ourselves here in the second half. Back up to you, Dick. All right, Christina, only 6 penalties in the game in this pass, and it's picked off a deflection, and it's Kyle Fuller still on his feet, and they're going to push him in. Touchdown! Kyle Fuller never went down. It was deflected off of Cordero Patterson into the hands of Kyle Fuller. His 4th interception of the year, and the Bears have scored a defensive touchdown early here in the third quarter. The ball's thrown a little bit behind Cordero Patterson because the safety Ryan Mundy was coming down, and Kyle Fuller makes a heads-up play, gets his hands on the football, and then shows off his athleticism. I think his knee may have touched the ground. There. It appears to swipe the ground right there. Nonetheless, a tremendous play by Fuller. In the presence of mind to be able to still try to get back up and score a touchdown. And they're going to review it, and tell you what, it looked like the entire Bears team pushed him into the end zone for the touchdown. It would be the first touchdown, but if that knee is ruled down by Jeff Triplett, still be the interception. The Bears will still have a first down deep in Viking territory at worst.
This is a different kind of airline. One that invented low fares so everyone could fly. One that decides where to go next by putting your needs first. And knows people are its most powerful fuel. Some say we do things differently. We say, why would we do things any other way? Without a heart, it's just a machine.
The holiday season is coming to an end, but we've got one more thing to share with you. The holiday clearance event at Walmart.
You can save big on items like select toys, electronics, and decor.
So that's it?
We're done here.
Oh.
Head to Walmart now and save big.
Your vision benefits are about to expire, so let us help you. VisionWorks accepts hundreds of plans, including Davis Vision. And you'll get 50% off a second pair of glasses when you use your insurance. It's all about helping you be a better you. VisionWorks.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. By Burger King. Mix and match 2 large premium sandwiches for just $5 only at Burger King. And by ExxonMobil.
The ruling on the field is that Kyle Fuller on the interception did get in for the touchdown, but did his knee touch the grass?
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is reversed. The runner's knee is down by contact, but the ball is at the 9-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Chicago. 1st and goal for Chicago at the 9.
So the score remains 3-3.
Credit Teddy Bridgewater hustling back to get a hand on Kyle Fuller and cause him to get off balance and actually be down at the 9. Otherwise, that would have been a touchdown for Chicago. Good hustle by Teddy Bridgewater, a rookie doing the right thing, and a nice play by rookie Kyle Fuller.
So that is his 4th interception of the year, and it'll be 1st and goal, and this is the deepest penetration the Bears have had all game. Only player with 4 interceptions and 3 forced fumbles, the #1 draft pick out of Virginia Tech. Remember that Charles Thielen?
If there's one thing the Bears do well too in the red zone, they score touchdowns when they're down. They're 3rd in the league coming away with touchdowns.
Thielen on injured reserve. And so Kyle Fuller is one to watch for the future. Here's Forté, and he gets a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down and goal at about the 7.
You mentioned it, Charles Thielen on IR, Lance Briggs, some of those pieces of the defense that have been around for so long and so effective, and this will be their last year in the Chicago Bears with all the changes that are to come in the ensuing weeks.
Question is, can the Bears get it across in what has been just a matchup of 2 field goals in the game? 2nd down and goal from the 7.
Look at your matchup here with Martellus Bennett in the middle of the field.
Quickly to Bennett, but he's down. No chance with Audie Cole there. Didn't have much balance there, did the tight end. So now 3rd down and goal.
Well, Audie Cole's sure done the job today, filling in for the injured Chad Greenway at the weak side linebacker. Cutler does his best, makes a little check to Martellus Bennett, but Audie Cole is able to make the tackle in space. Nowhere for Martellus Bennett to go. Now a big 3rd down here. Let's again see if they work to Alshon Jeffrey, their playmaker, who had a big game the last meeting versus the Vikings. In the slot on your screen.
3rd and goal. Cutler. Jeffrey is there, and the ruling is no ruling. We did not get a call, and now we do. A touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey at the corner of the end zone as the officials confer to make sure that both feet are in bounds. And, of course, all scoring plays like turnovers are reviewed as well.
Let's see if he was able to control possession of the football and get both feet in. There's his right foot and never gets in his left foot.
Not even close.
So
not even close.
The refs took their time to make a call, but that doesn't seem correct.
They took their time and ruled touchdown when didn't seem even close. We'll be back.
Here's a question for you. By avoiding rapid acceleration and stop-and-go driving, your savings on gas could be equivalent to how much? Up to 50 cents a gallon? 75 cents? $1? The answer is up to $1 a gallon. Sensible driving avoids unnecessary energy loss, saving you money and reducing CO2 emissions. Take the energy quiz, round 2. Energy lives here.
Your empire is how the world will remember you. It's where your dreams come to life. But you must not delay. Plan quickly, build quickly, or be destroyed quickly. Will you build an empire that lasts forever? Will you be my hero?
Game of War. Play for free now from the App Store.
Welcome to Burger King, home of the Yumbo sandwich.
What is going on? What is the Yumbo?
That's one of the best things that came out of the 70s.
The Yumbo from back in the day is back. Now on our 2 for $5 menu, only at Burger King.
Yumbo.
Do you believe Gotham can be saved?
So you're Penguin. So what?
The Penguin.
I'm done being careful.
You think you've been careful?
Gotham returns Monday, January 5th.
Ruling was a touchdown. Mike Pereira in Los Angeles. No way.
It is an incomplete pass. And receiver only got 1 foot down in the end zone. The clock is correct. It'll be 4th and goal at the 7.
Not even close getting 2 feet in, Mike Pereira, but the call was touchdown.
Yeah, listen, you got to get this right on the field. The deep official, Boris Cheek, is going to be watching for control here. You can see his eyes looking up for the ball, but now you've got to get the line judge to come down and make the call that the second foot never even got close to the ground. You got to get that call right on the field. No excuse for that.
Jay Feely with a 25-yard field goal, which is good to give the Bears a 6-3 lead. Let's see it again from up top.
The key here, watch the eyes. Watch the eyes. He's looking control. He's looking control. He's watching the whole process, which is good. Acknowledging, he'll nod his head to acknowledge that he had control. Now it's up to the head linesman to come down and say that both feet got down, and he didn't do that. That's the guy that has to make the call. And this is the NFL. I mean, you have to make those calls.
Well, they're playing in a college stadium, so maybe for whatever reason he got confused where he was at. Thought he only needed 1 foot in.
Hey, Mike, thanks very much.
That's it. Finally figured it out.
We knew there was a reason, Mike. Thanks very much. Mike Pereira in our studios in Los Angeles. So what a weird, in our graphics department, they had 9 up for Chicago on 2 touchdowns that were both had to be called back. One because of the knee hitting the ground for Fuller, who made the interception. And then, of course, Alshon Jeffrey only had 1 foot in. And so finally, Feely said, let me just get the field goal and let's settle for 3, and they do.
These teams are teasing us right now. All these big plays for touchdowns getting overturned and called back.
Feely kicking it to the 5-yard line, and Sherrills will down it for the touchback, and the Vikings will take it out at the 20-yard line. So it's 6-3, and Jay Feely, who had not tried a field goal in his previous 3 games since joining the Bears, connects from 48 and 25 to account for the Chicago scores.
If they're getting their money's worth out of Feely today. Hasn't really been too active before, but he's a veteran. He's been around, and he knows how this goes. Good job adapting to a new long snapper and a holder to execute.
No question. First down at the 20 for the Vikings. Hand off to Matt Asiata. Cutting up the middle. Good gain by Asiata. Get about 6 yards. Take a look at the NFC playoff picture. And of course, as you know, the America's Game of the Week coming up. Packers-Lions. One of those teams will win the NFC North. The Cardinals are in the playoffs, and the Falcons are playing the Panthers. The winner of that game will have home field and win the division. Asiata. That with the losing record as Asiata gets the first down out to the 33 of the Vikings.
What Christina Pink talked about, clearly the Minnesota Vikings are trying to establish the running game right now. With Matt Asiata now, he's averaging about 5.8 yards a carry, doing a nice job of running north and south, and his physical runs. That's the style of back he is. He almost looks like a fullback.
Of course, no Adrian Peterson, who was removed from the offense in week 2 of this year. Asiata getting the call. No gain there. Early here in the 3rd quarter, battle of field goals with the Bears winning 6-3. The winner of this game will end up 3rd in the NFC North. And of course, the draft picture for Chicago, if they win, they will pick between 8th and 11th in that first round. A loss, they will pick 7th none of these players are thinking at all, believe us, about draft choices. Bridgewater dumps it off, and Asiata through his hands. Right now, let's send it down to Christina Pink.
Well, Dick, you mentioned Adrian Peterson, still a question mark for this Vikings team. It is an NFL decision, but his suspension at the earliest could be over, and he could be reinstated on April 15th. Then the Vikings will have their own decision to make on a running back that has done a lot for this franchise.
No question about that. And they missed him, and the Vikings have marched on without him. And a win today, the Vikings would finish 7-9 on the season. 3rd down and 9 for Teddy Bridgewater. On the run, fires, completes the pass for the tight end into Bear territory to Adam Thielen. And a 1st down. So a 21-yard gain, and that is the biggest gain from scrimmage for either side in this game so far.
These are the skills you need to play quarterback in the NFL. Teddy Bridgewater steps up, moves over in the pocket, keeps his eyes downfield, and finds Thielen for the 1st down.
1st down and through the air again, going deep, and wide open is Thielen for the touchdown. This is called going to your hot hand.
What appears to be a blown coverage in the Chicago Bears secondary. Adam Thielen, not one of the go-to guys. He's only got 7 catches now in his career, his 1st touchdown. And Teddy Bridgewater's fired up.
2 passes in succession to Adam Thielen, one for 21 yards, this one 44 yards, and a touchdown.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 23 in the defense. That penalty is going to be assessed on the ensuing kickoff. It's also the 1st sideline warning for Minnesota.
So we have a bunch of things here. Unsportsmanlike conduct called against the Bears, Kyle Fuller, and then a warning on the sideline of the Vikings. Here's Blair Walsh, and that kick is good. So after a couple of false touchdowns by the Bears, the Vikings make this click. Bridgewater to Thielen, 44 yards. 10-6.
Hello?
Baby?
Chris? Baby, I can't hear you. Hello?
I'm ready.
What's happening?
I'm ready to come home.
Chris? Baby?
I'm ready to come home, baby.
You have to make it back to us. Okay? You have to. I need you here.
Rated R.
I can't wait.
Let's do it!
You were amazing!
Yes.
American Idol, the 2-night premiere, January 7th on Fox.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Brilliant Detective, Total Jerk. Baxter premieres Thursday, January 22nd on Fox.
Today's game is sponsored by American Sniper from Warner Brothers Pictures, now playing in select theaters everywhere January 16th.
So that's Adam Thielen, and here he is on special teams out of Mankato State. Mariani returning the kickoff So Adam Thielen, a first-year player on the practice squad all of last year. And this is his second touchdown, first as a receiver.
Well, there's a miscommunication between Tim Jennings and Demontre Hurst. Once Thielen releases inside, he's going to get back outside on his go route. And Teddy Bridgewater does a nice job of finding the mishap in the secondary, something that's plagued the Chicago Bears all year long. There's blood in the water, and Teddy Bridgewater's taking advantage right now.
Adam Thielen in week 13 blocked a punt and returned it 30 yards for a touchdown. Only the fourth player in history to do that. Now he gets one as a receiver as Matt Forté carries and gets beyond the 20-yard line. Everson Griffin making the tackle.
Excuse me, earlier, his first career touchdown as a wide receiver. Again,
right.
Not on special teams, but yes. And these are what these games are about. When people say they're not playing for anything, well, a guy like Adam Thielen is. He's playing for a job next year, and there's plenty of other young rookies on this team, in particular on Minnesota, that are trying to continue to build on the foundation they've set in Mike Zimmer's first year as head coach.
Second down and 7 on the 21. Cutler's pass, and it is caught. Good play made by Dante Rosario with Adi Cole defending. And a first down for the Bears, picking up 22 yards out to the 43. And of course, you played the game. You go through a weeks of practice looking at film. You take the field. You want to win the game. You don't go in there half-heartedly. I don't think anyone does.
No, all these guys are hardcore competitors, and they never want to leave the field losing.
And on the end around, Josh Morgan of the Bears. And Morgan close to picking up another first down, maybe a yard or so shy, getting 9 that time.
And you can see Mark Trestman's really opening up the playbook here, mixing in some reverses, some shots to guys they don't typically work the ball to, as they took a shot at Dante Rosario, their second tight on the last play. He's a nice compliment to Martellus Bennett as well. So clearly the Bears feel like they want to start taking shots now, try to open up this offense a little bit. Not so much of the dinking and dunking we saw in the first half.
Yeah, we're seeing more open plays, and that was the question we asked at halftime. They're on the 48, the Bears are, of the Vikings. Second down and 1. Cutler being rushed, completes the pass to Jeffrey, and a first down close to the 30-yard line. With Xavier Rhodes defending, they get 15 there. So we're seeing huge chunks of yardage being eaten up by both teams here in this third quarter.
Well, then that's what you see out of both these coaching staffs. Halftime adjustments. Now they're trying to exploit things they saw in the first half and capitalize on them. And credit Jay Cutler. Did a nice job of checking that last play to work his one-on-one matchup with Alshon Jeffries.
And a first down on the Viking 33. Forté reversing his field, and he's going to lose yardage. Gerald Hodges has had an outstanding game. Remember, he is starting for the impressive rookie Anthony Barr, but Harrison Smith as well. Two young players to watch in the Viking defense.
And another young guy who got into that play with some penetration was defensive tackle Sharif Floyd. Penetrated and allowed the linebackers to be able to shoot through the offensive line to make a tackle for loss.
Loss of 3. So it's second and 13, back to the 36. Screen pass, Forté, not going anywhere. Everson Griffin. And once again, Bears are stymied. They lose 3 yards again, so they've lost 6 yards in the last 2 plays.
These are one of the issues the Chicago Bears offense has had. They just haven't been able to have consistency. They put some good plays together, and then they end up having a few losses or some penalties or a turnover. It's what's plagued their offense the entire year.
Individually, big game for Forté. Second player with 1,000 yards rushing and 100 receptions. LaDainian Tomlinson the other one, but it's third down and 16. Bears going in reverse. Cutler completes the pass to Marquise Wilson, and Wilson getting down to the 25-yard line will be about 2 yards shy of the first down.
Marquise Wilson's done a nice job stepping in when Brandon Marshall went out. Had his career high last week, 7 catches for 66 yards, and he's a guy who just really hasn't got his confidence back. He hurt his collarbone in training camp and was tearing it up in the preseason, but then, you know, really didn't find his confidence back on the field until the past few weeks stepping in for Marshall.
So Jay Feely aboard again. This will be a 43-yard attempt. He's 2 for 2. Trying to bring the Bears closer, but he pushes his one to the right, misses. And the score remains the Vikings 10 and the Bears 6. Feely now 2 for 3. Misses his first kick as a Chicago Bear. We'll be back.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Well, did you know that playing cards with Kenny Rogers gets old pretty fast?
You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. What? You get it?
I get the gist, yeah.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The good more is all the end-of-season deals on great tech stuff at Verizon. The not-so-good more? Having the season actually end. Now, get the powerful Droid Max by Motorola, free.
Quitters! You're all quitters.
And get a $150 credit when you switch to Verizon.
This is where Peyton and Eli came out to play.
This is where Cam played.
Up this driveway is where JJ played.
This is the park where Johnny Unitas played.
And this is where Jim Kelly
And Jan Marino.
and Victor Cruz all played.
Can you come out to play?
Every kid's got to play. 60 minutes a day, every day. NFL plays 60.
Baxter catches bad guys by putting himself in their head.
I'm a paranoid psychopath.
I'm a rat-faced podiatrist. I gotta hang up. We're looking for lesbians in a shed.
Backstrom premieres Thursday, January 22nd on Fox.
From sizzling Miami, it's Pitbull's New Year's Revolution, New Year's Eve on Fox.
6:06 remaining in the third quarter. Vikings lead 10-6, and they take over on their 33 after Feely's missed field goal. Here's Matt Asiata. He stopped behind the line of scrimmage and ends up with a burst and shy of the first down by a couple.
You know, Dick, we're coming to a new stadium here for both of us today, and our stat crew did some work this week, and this is actually the 70th NFL stadium you've done a broadcast from. It's just an incredible career, and in my first year, I just want to say thank you for bringing me along and making this all possible.
Well, I was going to save this for later, but you have been a joy to work with, and you've got a great future here as a broadcaster. You got a lot of spark, and you look pretty good too, which is not bad, as Matt Asiata drives close for the first down. But you know, I've really enjoyed working with guys that are breaking into the business who work very hard at their new craft, and that's what you're doing. And yeah,
look
70.
at that. A Dick Stockton jersey there. He knew. The Vikings fans here knew. I took a picture of actually Dick on the way in with a big fan as we were coming into the game today. So
I've worked in some strange stadiums, including Harvard Stadium when the Patriots played a season there. Hard to believe it's up to 70. Here is Bridgewater, and Bridgewater gets it off to Asiata, who gets into Bear territory, stopped by Jonathan Bostic. Good pressure that time by Jay Ratliff.
Teddy Bridgewater just playing so tough, you know, for a guy who's not that big, only 6'2", 210 pounds. Skinny guy, but he's smart. He finds ways to slide through in the pocket and make throws while he's still getting hit. Again, a very bright future for this young man.
Second down and 3. Nowhere this time. Asiata stopped in his tracks by Jared Allen.
We talked about the Minnesota Vikings laying the foundation, and you can see on both sides of the football, Teddy Bridgewater, their first-round draft pick this year. Charles Johnson's really emerged the past few weeks as one of their targets on the outside. Harrison Smith, some people believe to be a Pro Bowl snub, and Anthony Barr's on IR right now, but He's been one of those guys who's converted now to an outside linebacker and done a fantastic job getting after the quarterback in the NFL.
3rd down and 3, and Bridgewater's pass caught, 1st down. Greg Jennings, and the Vikings scored the only touchdown in the game. Hurst on the tackle, and a 1st down to the 43 of the Bears.
And you've got to be impressed with Teddy Bridgewater. Again, another conversion on 3rd down, him passing the football. He just seems to have such command for such a young man in this league, and that's what all the coaches and players talk about, just his demeanor and his professionalism.
Look how he's really amped it up since that 1st quarter. Banyard with the run gets a couple, and by the way, with that touchdown pass to Thielen, Teddy Bridgewater now has thrown a touchdown pass in 10 consecutive games. Talk about consistency.
His consistency, whether it's his approach to practice each day in the facility or even coming out on a week-to-week basis, he's extremely consistent, and that's what a coaching staff in the NFL looks for. They can see the same guy every day.
2nd and 8. Bridgewater not going to get away this time from Christian Jones. He had 11 tackles and a sack against the Lions last week. He gets his 2nd sack of the season in as many weeks. He has started at all 3 linebacker positions, and he is a shining, bright part of the future for this Bears defense.
Yeah, 2nd sack of his career. Really had his best game of his career last week, as you had mentioned, but extremely athletic, does a nice job rushing the quarterback and finding ways to run sideline to sideline to get to the football.
3rd down and 11. Back to the 44 for Bridgewater. With time, goes underneath, completes to Charles Johnson, and Johnson is down at the 40-yard line, and that'll bring up 4th down. DeMontre Hurst, backup cornerback on the play, a pickup of 4, and they're going to send the punter on, Jeff Locke, with 1:49 remaining in the 3rd.
Bridgewater did a nice job of finding a completion, trying to add yards to this punt, but if there's one thing I'd like to see him do, he missed it in the end of the 1st half, is be a little more patient. He had Greg Jennings opening up on a deeper out route. If he had hung in there a half a second longer and made one of those throws to the sidelines, he would have had it.
Mariani is back. Fair catch called immediately at the 12. So the Bears, who've had to settle for 2 field goals, thought they had a couple of touchdowns, but that didn't go. Get the ball back when we return to Minneapolis.
I've always loved exploring and looking for something better. That's the way I look at life, especially now that I live with a higher risk of stroke due to AFib, a type of irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. I was taking warfarin, but I wondered if I kept digging, could I come up with something better? My doctor told me about Eliquis for 3 important reasons. 1, in a clinical trial, Eliquis was proven to reduce the risk of stroke better than warfarin. 2, Eliquis had less major bleeding than warfarin. And 3, unlike warfarin, there's no routine blood testing.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
Those 3 important reasons are why Eliquis is a better find for me.
Ask your doctor today if Eliquis is right for you.
Nobody gets you closer to the playoffs than NFL Network.
We know how important he is.
With the best coverage possible. Hall of Fame analysis from the guys who've been there.
They are going to come out and fight, fight, fight.
Exclusive access and wired sound from the field.
We're going to eat these boys alive. I don't even know how I did that.
And more sideline reporters.
We just try to do what we do very well.
All week long.
To the end zone!
Nobody does the playoffs like NFL Network. Nobody.
Receiver number 62 is.
Now, do you think Bear fans got good seats here? Let's see now. Let's see what kind of seats they.
No,
not so much.
They've got to be warm in those suits, though. That's one thing we can be assured of.
They put that Bear head down A lot warmer then. Eben Britton, an extra offensive lineman. 1st and 10 inside his 5. And Cutler's going to go down inside the 10-yard line. Good pressure that time. Corey Wooten, former Chicago Bear. Time for a game break. Here's Joel Klatt.
All right, Dick, interesting things going on in the AFC. Baltimore now down 10-3 to the Cleveland Browns. San Diego down 19-7 to Kansas City, which means that Jacksonville being down 14-10 to Houston would put the Texans in the playoffs. You got all that, Dick?
Yeah, I do, Joel. And San Diego had the golden opportunity. All they had to do was win and they'd be in, and it's not working out that way. Meanwhile, 2nd down and 13 after the sack and the loss of 3 yards. Cutler taken off, and Cutler gets the 1st down. So Jay Cutler using his legs and gets the 1st down, picking up 15.
Something that he doesn't always utilize, but he's got a lot of athleticism. When he wants to get outside the pocket and run, he can, and he's had to at times this season. We talked about it earlier, 9 different starting rotations for the offensive line for the Chicago Bears. That's the most in the NFL.
Longest run of the year for Cutler was 25 yards, but he gets his team out of trouble, and time will run out here in this defensive battle. That is the end of the 3rd quarter. Wooten, the former Bear, with the sack. 10-6. We'll be back.
Live from Miami, hottest stars, biggest music, and it's all hosted by me.
Pitbull's New Year's Revolution, New Year's Eve on Fox.
I'm Ryan Cummings.
And I'm Fallon Glick.
Join us tonight for WDRB News at 10.
Hey, I'm Stretch Armstrong. Remember how pumped you were when you got me for the holidays? Well, feel that excited again with the new Honda Accord during Happy Honda Days. It comes with a rear-view camera and Pandora compatibility. Nice. And just look at all this space. Yeah, I still got it. Get something you'll love at the Happy Honda Days sales event, where all 2015 models come standard with a rear-view camera.
Why do you want to switch to Walmart Family Mobile? Unlimited talk, text, and web for just $34.88 a month?
Honey, we got unlimited internet.
Look at that. What should we do?
I mean, we could pin, post, tweet, snap, tag, check, and share. Oh.
Why don't you do whatever you just said on your own phone?
Because you need to do more without paying more. Get connected with Walmart Family Mobile, our lowest price unlimited plan for just $34.88 a month. The plan you want, online and in store. Save money, live better, Walmart.
Oh, wait. Have fun every 5 minutes with Kentucky's Keno.
Surprise your loved one with a special gift from John Jones Auto Group. Get GM supplier pricing on all 2014 Silverado LTs until January 2nd, or get 0% financing on used cars. John Jones Auto Group. You see so many because they paid so little.
We start the 4th quarter. Dick Stockton along with Brady Quinn and Christina Pink. The Vikings lead the Bears 10-6. Vikings looking for their 1st division win of the year. They have a 1st down on the 24, the Bears, and this pass is overthrown. Martellus Bennett. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for Chicago. Well, week 17 continues later today on Fox and on CBS, and then tonight it's Sunday Night Football on NBC. Nothing automatic, do we, friend, have in the final week when you have chances for so many teams, and we've been talking AFC so far.
Yeah, we just talked about it. I mean, San Diego would have made it easy. If they win, they're in. Now they're down, and it appears as if Kansas City might come away with that game. And Baltimore's down, so now it's open up the door to Houston.
They're leading 14-10 in the 3rd quarter. Here's Matt Forté. And Forté, banner day for Matt Forté, who's had a brilliant season for the Chicago Bears. He gets 4 yards on that play.
Really a brilliant career, and Mark Trestman talked about it. He's the complete back. Some backs come off the field on 3rd down, but no, he can pass protect, he can catch balls out in routes, and he can run extremely effective. Has great vision, a smart player, really takes care of his body in the offseason as well. That's why he's been so effective for so long.
3rd down and 6. Cutler. And the pass incomplete, intended for Alshon Jeffrey, with Xavier Rhodes covering on the play. You mentioned Rhodes, who has made a big jump in this his second year in the league.
Well, he has, and he's always going to take on that challenge of matching up with the best wide receiver each week. A little physical there and some touchy from both players, but really nowhere to put the football. Jay Cutler wants a flag, and they could use it, believe me right now, trying to find a rhythm for the Bears offense.
Patrick O'Donnell will punt it away, and Marcus Sherrills. Good punt by O'Donnell. Sherrills at the 16, changes direction and goes down the sideline. Marcus Sherrills with a great return close to halftime, or half midfield, and pushed out of bounds by Patrick O'Donnell. Terrific return of 35 yards for Sherrills.
This is the story about Billy Joe and Bobby Sue. Oh, oh, oh. Go on, take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run. Take the money and run. Oh, oh.
It's like you're getting away with something. New Crunchwrap Sliders. Crunchy Fritos, craveable flavors, just for $1.
The #1 movie in the world.
Are you with us?
The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. Now playing. Rated PG-13.
I want the pump. You up?
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That was terrible.
I want the pump. You up?
It's like we're talking to a wall. Yeah, I don't know what kind of sick game you're playing. Knock.
Training is hard. Saving is easy. Get a discount double check today.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new way to Taco Bell is here, only in the app. By State Farm. Pump up your savings with a discount double check today. And by Lowe's. Lowe's, never stop improving.
Ten to 6 the score. The Vikings lead early here in the fourth, and Marcus Sherrills, officially, that was a 32-yard punt return. His season's long as 35. He is behind there. You see him behind number 46. And good field position. First down at the 47 of the Vikings. Teddy Bridgewater with time. Complete. And Jennings with the catch. And a first down to the 34-yard line. A pickup of 19.
And this is the play where I wanted Teddy Bridgewater just to be a little bit more patient with, and he was here. He was able to find Greg Jennings and fit that ball in on the sidelines. A nice job being patient and letting the routes develop. You see this maturation process happening right before our eyes, even in this game still.
Bears won the first meeting between the teams at Soldier Field. Vikings lead here. Pump fake. Ball almost knocked out of his hands, but he held on. And Bridgewater runs up and gets a couple of yards. Could have been worse for Bridgewater. Good pressure by the defensive tackle Stephen Payat, and a gain of 2 for Bridgewater.
Good presence of mind by Teddy Bridgewater to hang on to the football and then scramble up in the pocket just to be able to get a few yards. It wasn't even a sack. All these intangibles, these are the things that NFL teams look for in a franchise quarterback, and this is what Teddy Bridgewater is displaying right now.
A lot of poise shown by the #1 pick out of Louisville. Second down and 8. And here is Banyard. And Banyard gets to the 33.
You know, when you watch all this film of Teddy Bridgewater, one of the things I came across was he chews gum while he plays. He doesn't have a mouth guard in or anything. He chews gum. He says it actually helps relax him. He's been doing it for a long time now. Apparently he's not too worried about his teeth. You know, anything happens if he gets knocked out, but
or swallowing the gum. And he said he even chews gums when he took his exams at college. He said simply it relaxes me.
Unbelievable.
Third down and 5. Maybe he'll get a commercial. 3rd and 5. Bridgewater goes underneath And the tackle made on Adam Thielen by Christian Jones, preventing a Viking first down. And so the field goal team comes on. The ball is at the 26-yard line, and Blair Walsh will enter to try to add to the Viking lead.
Teddy Bridgewater, again, finding a way to get a completion. That helps out your field goal kicker, and it makes it a little bit easier of a kick.
44-yard attempt for Walsh, who's been good from 37 yards so far. Blair Walsh with the kick. It's good. And the Vikings now lead it 13-6 on Blair Walsh's second field goal of the game. Chew away, Teddy Bridgewater. Your team is leading, and it's the final game of the regular season.
She inspires you. No question about that. But your erectile dysfunction? That could be a question of blood flow. Cialis Tadalafil for daily use helps you be ready anytime the moment's right. You can be more confident in your ability to be ready. And the same Cialis is the only daily ED tablet approved to treat ED and symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently or urgently. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines, and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any allergic reactions like rash, hives, swelling of the lips, tongue, or throat, or difficulty breathing or swallowing, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use and a free 30-tablet trial.
This is where Peyton and Eli came out to play. This is where Cam played.
Up this driveway is where JJ played.
This is the park where Johnny Unitas played.
And this is where Jim Kelly
and Dan Marino and Victor Cruz all played. Can you come out to play?
Every kid's got to play. 60 minutes a day, every day. NFL plays 60.
This season was awesome. Made a ton of friends, like that guy and that guy. We worked so hard and have the highlight reel to prove it. We did a whole lot of this and a whole lot of that. And all because my coach is Heads Up Football certified.
Still early here in this fourth quarter. Dick Stockton, Brady Quinn, Christina Pink, and it's 13-6. The Vikings lead. Bears will get the ball with Mark Mariani on the return, and Blair Walsh, who moments ago kicked his second field goal of the game. 7-point lead for Minnesota. And Mariani's going to run this one out. Past the 30. Past the 40. Into Viking territory, and a great return. Adam Thielen makes the tackle. But a great return by Mariani, and the Bears in business, trailing by 7 points. That was a 67-yard kickoff return.
Well, nice job blocking by the Chicago Bears special team, setting this up for Mark Mariani. Really be able to find a seam in the defense and lets his speed kick in after he beats the kicker. But credit Adam Thielen, having a big game today for a touchdown-saving tackle here at the end. Should be interesting to see, though, if the Chicago Bears offense can find a spark, build momentum off this, and if Jay Cutler can get him in the end zone.
And a first down at the 35.
Cutler should clearly changing the play, wants to probably try to find a way. Nope, now he's checking back to it as the Minnesota Vikings defense changed. Cat and mouse game you like to see throughout the game with these guys.
Flag down. Is this a free play for Cutler? And the pass intercepted. Penalty marker down. Audie Cole with the interception. And let's see whether the penalty, this is going to be huge right here.
Wooten was offside.
Offside. 99 in the defense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So Corey Wooten, the former Chicago Bear, offsides. And that nullifies what would be a turnover for the Vikings.
Corey Wooten just tried to get too much of a jump off the ball. This will end up being a free play for the Bears, so it will not count. none of the consequences, if they're bad, will hurt the Bears in that case.
So now it's 1st down and 5. And Matt Forté for a couple of yards. Time for a game break. Here's Joel Klatt again.
All right, crazy AFC, guys. Blake Bortles in Houston, pass it to Cecil Shorts, who then throws it to Jordan Todman. It's 17-14 Jaguars. Cleveland's up 10-3 over Baltimore. Kansas City's up 19-7 over San Diego, which means the Chiefs go to the AFC playoff if they all finish that way. Whew, got all that?
Yeah, does anyone want this? I guess Kansas City does.
The key to that is Chase Daniels starts then for the Chiefs.
Yes. 2nd down and 3, and the pass dropped by Josh Morgan.
Well, that seems to be a habit right now of the Bears wide receivers. Alshon Jeffries had 4 drops last week for Jimmy Clausen in his first start in 4 years, and the rest of this wide receiver corps has continued to have some drops today, not helping out the quarterbacks. And that's another reason why they're 5-10 right now. It's just the Bears offense and really the entire team has just not played up to their capabilities.
What an opportunity they had after that 67-yard kickoff return. Put them in great position here, but now they look at a 3rd down and 3 to the Bears. Do they have to settle for a field goal again? And it would be a long one indeed. This is a big play. Cutler dancing around, and his pass is knocked down. Forté, the intended receiver. Adi Cole makes the defensive play, knocking it down, bringing up 4th down.
I'll be curious to see if they go for it here. It would be a long field goal for Thielen in particular since he missed his last field goal.
They are. I think that decision has been made, and it makes a sense on many fronts.
What about Adi Cole? Just stepping up today, getting a hand in, doing a nice job of covering Matt Forté in the passing game.
So it's 4th and 3. And timeout called by the Vikings. They want to set their defense up on a 4th down and 3.
It's a 30-second timeout.
And right now, let's send it down to Christina Pink.
You guys have talked about Adi Cole several times today. You know, last week in Miami, Gerald Hodges called plays for this Vikings defense when Chad Greenway got hurt. They had several miscommunications and problems with their defensive alignment. So today, that responsibility was given to Adi Cole, who is certainly paying dividends as his Viking defense has certainly communicated better and played better, more cohesively today.
No question, but now it's 4th and 3. What do the Bears have to do here?
Well, the Bears got to find a way of protecting Jay Cutler in this scenario. The Vikings have been able to bring a variety of pressures to move him off his spot and force him to make inaccurate throws. So if I'm the Bears right now, I'm finding a way of giving Jay Cutler the time to be able to step in the pocket and make an accurate throw, working either Martellus Bennett or Alshon Jeffrey.
Jeffrey lining up to the top of your picture. 4th and 3. Cutler completes the pass and a 1st down inside the 15 to Martellus Bennett. He went to one of his 2 big targets, and it was the bigger one, the tight end Bennett. And a gain of 15 quiets the crowd, and the Bears get a 1st down to the 8.
Martellus Bennett's matched up on Andrew Sendejo, filling in for Robert Blanton, and just runs a simple in route. Is able to beat him with speed out of his cut. He's such a big target. He's really tough to defend if a quarterback throws an accurate ball like Cutler did there.
7th catch for Bennett. On 1st down, here's Forté. Nowhere to run. And he is stopped nearly in his tracks by Everson Griffin, bringing up 2nd and goal.
The defensive front for the Minnesota Vikings, Everson Griffin, Brian Robinson, Sharif Floyd. All these guys have really stepped up their game and allowed the linebackers for the Minnesota Vikings to be more open and make plays and do their job.
So 2nd down and 9 officially. Ball on the 12. Play action. Pass is batted up. And it looked like it was bobbled. Let's see if it would be an interception if it were caught and it hit the ground. It is no interception, an incomplete pass. It was deflected by Sharif Floyd. Brian Robinson did not make the catch.
They're trying to set up an inside screen, and there you see Sharif Floyd gets a hand on it. Brian Robinson tries to jump back and corral the ball in, but it appears to just hit the ground.
So now 3rd down and 9.
Cutler, no turnovers today, but he's had some close ones.
Cutler 20 of 31. No TDs and no picks. Cutler quickly to Jeffrey, and everything stopped. Flag down.
Delay of the game.
5-yard penalty, delay of the game against the Bears.
Well, you'd wonder coming into this game how Jay Cutler would handle being benched last week and then due to an injury now being thrusted back into the starting role, and that's 2 delay of games now. It just seems like maybe his focus isn't there quite as much as it would have been earlier in this season. But one of those reasons why they have not been successful and haven't been able to stay in a consistent flow and capitalize on good field position.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down and 14. From the 17-yard line. Cutler gets a rush. The pass incomplete. Intended for Bennett in the end zone. Claimed he was pushed. 2 defenders back there, including Harrison Smith and Josh Robinson. So Jay Feely will come in with 8:57, just under 9 minutes to go in the 4th.
Josh Robinson was matched up on Martellus Bennett there, and really didn't appear as if the ball was that catchable, but there was a little bit of hand fighting going on, and it's going to happen whenever you're getting man-to-man coverage.
So Jay Feely, who had not attempted a field goal in his first 3 games with the Bears, this will be his 4th attempt. This is from 35 yards. And Feely's kick is good. And now the Viking lead is 13-9. Feely with his 3rd field goal of the game.
Do you like that pen?
I love it.
Love it, love it?
She does, she does. And did you know that it turns handwriting into text? Dad into mustache dad. And it even helps you find costumes for the party. Sorry, buddy.
Wait, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you are.
Do you use that thing a lot?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
It's like the magic wand.
Well, in that case, abracadabra. Do everything faster and easier with the new, more powerful S Pen only on the Galaxy Note 4. The next big thing is here.
No pictures of trucks pulling boats. No photos of men working on ranches. Just a Ram 1500 Eco Diesel that gets 156 more miles per tank than the Ford F-150 EcoBoost. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com.
Coffequin's number 5, The Sleepless Night. Sorry. Robitussin DM Max Nighttime's dual-action liquid instantly soothes your throat and delivers fast, powerful cough relief. Robitussin, don't suffer the consequences.
Lowe's presents how to install a new washing machine with one finger.
Maybe a little more that way. Nice.
Get 10 to 30% off select major appliances $3.99 or above at Lowe's.
Let's do it!
Yes, yes. American Idol season premiere January 7th on Fox.
Today's game is sponsored by the new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The next big thing is here.
The Viking defense has kept the Bears out of the end zone, and they had to settle for 3 Feely field goals in a 13-9 game with just under 9 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Last game of the regular season here. 2 teams with losing records, but one of them would want to escape the cellar in the division.
Bears offense usually more potent in the red zone, struggling to score touchdowns today.
Feely's kick taken by Matt Asiata, and out of bounds he goes. Well, today is not only the last day of the regular season, but it's also an end of an era, which means a lot to us at Fox Sports. Legendary Fox NFL producer Bob Stenner will no longer hit the road to cover the NFL after 55 years in the business. He will stay on with Fox as a consultant I've worked with Bob Stenner. All you need to see, 21 seasons with Pat Summerall and John Madden, both at CBS and Fox. He's trained TV leaders, including our producer P.T. Navarro and director Wayne Wilson, who have learned from a legend in our profession. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Matt Asiata. And Asiata gets to the 36. And a thank you for our crew here in the truck. And they have toiled all season long.
Talk about legendary coaching trees in the NFL. Well, Bob Stenner's that in TV. I mean, his reach extends further than even just here at Fox. So
yeah, he does. And you know, the pictures and the replays and the sounds and the presentations that many of us take for granted in our sofas at home and watching up here has to come from somewhere, and has to come from the greats, and Bob Stenner certainly belongs there. Bridgewater on 2nd and 4 gets sacked inside the 30 by David Bass, and on that sack, let's send it out once again to Joel Klatt in the game break. Busy man today, Joel.
Yeah, that's right, and a busy day in the AFC. Case Keenum to Andre Johnson gives the Texans a 21-17 lead. Kansas City still up on San Diego. Cleveland still up on Baltimore. The Texans would go to the AFC playoffs. Dick and Brady, back to you.
All right, so back and forth. It's like a seesaw thing with Houston now leading 21-17. 3rd down and 12 here for the Vikings. Leading by 4, Bridgewater. And Bridgewater has an open receiver. One-handed catch by Jennings. And Greg Jennings managed to stay in bounds after making the catch close to midfield. And a pickup of 20. Great play by Jennings.
A great play by Jennings and a good job by Teddy Bridgewater finding him. But again, another busted coverage by the Chicago Bears defense. And people have given defensive coordinator Mel Tucker flack all year long. But look, this is execution. That's not on the defensive coordinator. That's on the players down there in the field. They've got to do a better job of communicating and identifying who has who in the passing game.
That's why a team goes 5 and 10 going into their season finale. 1st down at the 49 of the Vikings. Here is Matt Asiata trying to cut back. Does a good job. Asiata with a nifty run, picking up 7 yards.
And he's really done a nice job filling in the absence of Adrian Peterson. And clearly not the same type of player. I mean, it's hard to replace a guy with Adrian Peterson's ability, but Matt Asiata has filled that role well, being able to run the football effectively, getting downhill, not fumbling very often, and doing his job.
2nd and 3 on the 44. Here's Asiata, and this time the Bears won't let him get all the way through. Ratliff is there to make the stop.
Really, Ratliff and Paella, the 2 inside tackles for the Chicago Bears defense, do a nice job of plugging up holes, not allowing there to be really any running lanes for the Vikings offense. They've been stellar all year in that regard, and even getting to the quarterback. Have about 6 sacks apiece, a very disruptive duo in the center of the Chicago Bears defense.
So it'll be 3rd and a long one. There ain't 5 minutes remaining in the 4th. And here's Matt Asiata, gets a 1st down and more. Asiata, big gain. Good block by Jerome Felton, the fullback, and Asiata getting down to the 26-yard line, picking up 14 big yards for the Vikings.
Well, he puts 1 foot in the ground and gets vertical. And that's his style of running. He's a physical back, and he finds ways of just getting north and south and being simple in his running style, but very effective. And again, right down the middle of that defense, John Sullivan, the center, having a nice block to open up a hole for him.
78 yards rushing for Asiata, who had 2 touchdowns on the ground against the Dolphins last week in the losing cause. It'll be a 1st down at the 26. Asiata again, and he burst forward for picking up nearly 5 yards.
You get the feeling the Minnesota Vikings are just controlling the game at this point.
Chicago.
Being able to stop the Chicago Bears in the red zone and running the ball effectively right now, the Minnesota Vikings.
4-yard gain, and the Bears have called a timeout. Each team has 2 left. Timeout here in Minneapolis. We'll return in just a moment.
Are you up for whatever?
This is Matt. We saw him holding a Bud Light, which means he's up for whatever.
How about a 10
Bud Light, the perfect beer for whatever happens.
Welcome to Burger King, home of the Yumbo sandwich.
What is going on? What is the Yumbo? That's one of the best things that came out of the 70s.
The Yumbo from back in the day is back. Now on our 2 for $5 menu, only at Burger King.
Yumbo.
Cause you had a bad day, you take one down, you sing a sad song just to turn it around. You say you don't know, you tell me don't lie, you work and a smile and you go for a ride. You had a bad day, the camera don't lie, you're coming back down and you really don't mind. You had a bad day, you had a bad day.
I want Empire to be here long after I'm gone.
I want half my company back.
To the Empire!
Back here in Minneapolis, the Bears call their first timeout. It'll be 2nd and 6.
This is a big series for the Bears defense. They really got to find a way of getting a stop here.
And they got to, it's the run defense primarily, you would think. Using the clock. And here is Banyard, who's coming to the game, and the Bears do a good job right there, knocking him back for no gain, maybe a loss of 1.
The Vikings playing a little more conservative right now, but look, a field goal.
Chicago, they're second.
It's going to put them in within a touchdown, and so far the Bears haven't been able to really execute enough to drive down the field and get a touchdown.
Bears call a timeout. We talked about Bob Stenner and the great job that he has done. But we've had a great job done by our crew, and we want to thank our technical and production crew for what they've done this year all season. Our audio mixers, Mark Butler and Bob Charlap. Camera operators, Brent Cohen, Terry Swan, and Tom Skinner. Keith Dornellis in video. Videotape operators, Kerry Brooks and Barrett Brenner. Elisa Arden, Alex Stevepak, and Grant Yoder in our graphics department. All the replays, people like that are getting the shots for you. Seeing the replays, the graphics all come from this crew. Here's Bridgewater on the keeper. Bridgewater will get the first down and go out of bounds. First down for Minnesota. Other people to thank, our statistician, Emmett McGuire, and spotter Bill Garrity. Technical producer Marvin Kale and our technical director Gabe Bell. Broadcast associate Matt Shapiro and our associate director Chirag Devasker. And our director, as we mentioned, Wayne Wilson, our producer, P.T. Navarro. Names to you, but these are the people we live with each week that put on these broadcasts and do a tremendous job. We all thank them as the season comes to a close. First down and 10. On the 12. And here is Asiata inside the 10. Carrying defenders down to the 6-yard line. Jennings is there, pickup of 6.
You saw Bridgewater use his legs with a heads-up play to get the first down. Now allowing them to really be in the position to run the clock down more and put them in the position to at least come away with a chip shot field goal, if not a touchdown.
What do you take away from this game? And, you know, both teams obviously wanting to win. Forget the fact that it's not going to mean anything playoff-wise from both of these clubs. Your thoughts?
Well, I think with the Minnesota Vikings, you see they're really starting to build the franchise that they're looking for with Mike Zimmer. On the defensive side of the football, on offense, they found the franchise quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater. He's just done a tremendous job, especially in the month of December, leading this team, being extremely efficient, running the offense and in the passing game, then making plays with his feet. he seems to be everything they had hoped for. And with the Bears right now, just a lot of question marks. We'll have to see what happens in the ensuing weeks.
11th play of the drive. Second down and 4. Asiata, who's handled this offense down the final minutes here, is a yard shy of the first down as the clock winds down to 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. The Vikings lead 13-9. Their defense have kept the Bears out of the end zone, limiting them to 3 field goals.
This is where the running style of Matt Asiata really takes its effect. He's so physical, using his body to just run through defenders, usually taking more than just one defender to bring him down. Now it really pays its dividends off here in the fourth quarter, and particularly with a 4-minute offense like this, as they're pushing in to score and really running the clock, trying to run the clock out.
No timeouts left for the Bears. 3rd down and 1 coming up, and the big play of the game was that 44-yard pass from Bridgewater to Adam Thielen. The only touchdown in the game.
Talk about on a busted coverage between the two players. Neither one knew which one was supposed to take that wide receiver, and he ends up running free, wide open down the sidelines. Something that the Chicago Bears are going to have to evaluate and figure out how they can get their team back on the right track.
Well, they came in knowing that this was a lost season, that there were going to be a lot of questions to be answered probably shortly after the season is over. 5-10 record, losing 4 straight games, 3 of them at home. Bears won only 3 division games in the last 2 seasons, 2 against these Vikings. Brady, 1 game at home, road win at Green Bay last year. And
they've actually been effective outside of their division, though. They're 6-4 this year. Excuse me, 5 wins outside of the division so far this year, or 6-4.
Well, no playoff implications here, but there is elsewhere. Joel Klatt, bring us up to date.
All right, guys, let's head to Baltimore. Joe Flacco finally getting heated up in this game against Cleveland. Finds Torrey Smith for a touchdown. 13-10 Ravens. The Kansas City Chiefs still leading San Diego, which means the Ravens would go with a win. The Chiefs hold on at home. All that going on in the AFC. Dick and Brady, back to you.
All right, so the Ravens could be in the driver's seat. 3rd down and 1 here in Minneapolis. And Asiata pushing forward close to the first down. We'll see where they spot the ball. Vikings indicate they have enough for a 1st and goal.
Still waiting on confirmation, but it looked like with his forward progress he had gotten the 1st down. Probably need to take a measurement.
And we have an injured player as well.
Cornelius Washington down.
We still do not have an official indication from Jeff Triplett as to whether Asiata had enough for that 1st down.
Cornelius Washington mixing in at right and left defensive end for the Chicago Bears in the absence of Willie Young. He's taking part of that workload with David Bass, number 91 as well.
We're going to have a measurement here. Meanwhile, Washington still on the ground.
We just did a game break, and you look at the 2 games in particular we're watching, and it's the AFC North teams that could end up dominating this playoff picture.
And short, shy by a matter of inches. So it's 4th down and inches for the Vikings.
It appears the offense is staying on the field. They feel confident in their ability to get the additional inches needed for the 1st down, if not a touchdown.
Meanwhile, this is not the way anyone would want to end the season. Cornelius Washington being helped off the field.
This is where you rely on the center interior of your offensive line. John Sullivan, the center, Charlie Johnson, left guard, and Joe Berger. As you watch Cornelius Washington walk off the field, and a Chicago Bears defensive line that's already thin. They can't afford to have too many more injuries.
David Bass is in the lineup. for the Bears. Ratliff has just come in the game as well. Austin Wentworth for the Vikings, rookie from Fresno State, is an extra offensive lineman. There he is, number 72. So 4th down and inches for Minnesota. And here is Asiata, and he's pushed back. I don't think he made it. I think he might have lost a little. And the Bears may have held fast.
Heck of a play by middle linebacker John Bostic. As soon as that hole opened up for Asiata, he came there to fill it. And he was not letting Matt Asiata get any further closer to that 1st down marker.
Great play, you're right. Right there. Didn't give ground. And the Chicago Bears will take over on downs.
Trevor Scott gave him a little extra help as Asiata started to gain momentum. Scott was able to put his back into him and push Asiata back. Now pressure's on Jay Cutler, because right here, this could be a drive for the win.
They have no timeouts, however. And
they will have a 2-minute warning, though, and plenty of time.
So this is going to be, is this a curtain call maybe for Jay Cutler? We don't know what the answer is going to be during the offseason. We know there are a lot of questions for the Bears. Here is Asiata getting stopped by Bostic head on. Lost a little, too.
You can credit Jared Allen coming up and meeting the fullback in the hole and freeing up John Bostic to be there and make the tackle.
Ball on the 3. Jay Cutler and the offense goes to work. Only stoppage will be at the 2-minute warning. Cutler will run it from the end zone, get the 1st down, and slide as he crosses the 25. Good play.
Mike Zimmer using his patented double-A gap mug with his linebackers up around the line of scrimmage, and he created some running lanes there as they tried to bring pressure to disrupt the offensive line.
22-yard gain. And a false start has been called against the Bears. These are these pre-snap penalties that really ruin you.
Number 17 in the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Alshon Jeffrey called for the penalty, and a 5-yard penalty marked off.
When you talk about a 2-minute drive killer, that's one of the things. Any sort of pre-snap penalty in particular are things that really are going to push you back and put you in an unfortunate scenario, trying to get the ball down the field and battling the element of time.
That's discipline or lack of. 1st and 15. Cutler escaping trouble and completes the pass, and going out of bounds is Josh Morgan. And another flag down.
Jay Cutler's going to have all types of running room here if they continue to not account for him escaping the pocket. Let's see what the call is down on the field.
Illegal touching of a forward pass. Number 19 in the offense. Went out of bounds, came back inbounds, and the first to catch the forward pass. It's a 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Josh Morgan was pushed out of bounds, which then makes him unable to touch the ball. Like you saw in that last play, Jay Cutler was able to find him on the sidelines, but that's why he was so wide open. Josh Robinson then pushes him, and you see right there, this right foot steps out of bounds. Now he cannot be the first player to touch the football. That's why you see no one covering him.
And I think Cutler must have known that too, the way he threw the ball. What am I going to do here? He must have seen that he had gone out of bounds. So it's now 1st down and 20. So Cutler, and this pass dropped by Forté. Incomplete pass. Looks like the Bears look like they had things going today offensively, Brady Quinn, and then all of a sudden would stall.
They've been stymied by really pre-snap penalties, and it doesn't appear as if they've had too many more than Minnesota. They got 7 so far today versus 4 for Minnesota, but the timing of the penalties, every time they've seemed to get these penalties, it's right when they start to get some momentum in a drive.
I mean, they were at the 3-yard line, no timeouts left. They got 22 yards, and then things backfired for them. 2nd down and 20. And this pass is caught by Matt Forté, and Forté gets to the 22, and we're winding to the 2-minute warning here. And that's the last time the Bears can stop the clock other than clocking the ball. And the 2-minute warning here in Minneapolis with the Vikings leading 13-9.
Today's game is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Get your own Big Hot Pastrami Melt at Subway.
It's lunch, it's dinner, it's Big Hot Pastrami.
Boom.
Pow! I love the sound of that. Nothing tackles a mighty appetite like the Subway Big Hot Pastrami Melt. I'm all over it. Oh, yeah. This monument of flavor is loaded with dry rubbed, pepper-crusted beef, melty cheese, mustard and pickles on freshly baked bread.
Need I say more?
The Subway Big Hot Pastrami Melt. Subway, eat fresh.
Okay, Moto X, let's do this. I wonder what the craziest combination I can make is.
Bamboo. Exotic.
Green on green. Cash money.
Ooh, black leather. Fierce. Is this it? Maybe this.
There we go. And done.
That's my Moto X.
And its name is Phone of Arc.
Do you believe Gotham can be safe?
So you're a penguin. So what?
The Penguin. I'm done being careful. You think you've been careful?
Gotham returns Monday, January 5th.
New Year's Eve, why be ice cold when your celebration can be red hot? Pitbull hosts a sizzling party.
Live from Miami, it's a hot new way to do New Year's Eve.
With performances by some of music's hottest acts. Pitbull's New Year's Revolution, New Year's Eve on Fox.
2 minutes remain.
They've got to find a way to get Alshon Jeffrey the ball more. He's only got 2 catches today, in part because Brandon Marshall's not there like they were the first meeting. He's on IR. So the Minnesota Vikings have been able to focus more on covering Alshon Jeffrey. Excuse me.
He is in a slot to the left at the bottom of your picture. 3rd down and 14. And another flag.
False start.
And another false start. That's how the Bears started this game, Brady Quinn. That was their first series when they had a delay of the game. They had to call a timeout and they had a false start all in a row.
Well, it's almost these insurmountable situations that people are asking Jay Cutler to try to find a way to improve or find a way to fix it. And I mean, 2-minute drive, no timeouts, and you keep getting pushed back more and more by penalties. I mean, you got to have help as a quarterback. People can blame Jay Cutler all they want, but it can't all be on him.
But this is really a fitting finish to the Bears season without question. Here's the pass caught by Forté, who is going to set a record with that reception. 8th catch of the game and the 102nd of the season. Matt Forté has set an NFL record for catches by a running back in a season, breaking Larry Center's record of 101. And a timeout called by the Vikings before the snap.
Minnesota.
And the Vikings are out of timeouts as well as the Bears. So for Matt Forté, a dismal year as far as the team goes, but a glorious year individually for him.
He really has, and they rely on him in so many different ways in this offense. He's been able to remain healthy, which is a key part in him being able to have so much success and put together season after season. He's a Pro Bowler, was not this year. Maybe another guy people would consider a snub, but a very effective running back. And again, he attributes to his off-season workout regimen, how hard he works and staying in shape. Martellus Bennett is tight end, training with him this offseason to get back in shape for training camp.
Since coming into the league 7 years ago, has the most yards from scrimmage of anyone. 4th down and 9 for Jay Cutler and the Bears with 1:43 remaining. Cutler gets hit from behind, completes the pass to Bennett, and he'll be shy of the first down by 2 yards. And the Vikings will take over on downs. Andrew Sendejo starting his 3rd straight game at strong safety, and Everson Griffin put the pressure on Jay Cutler from behind as the Vikings offense takes on the field.
Well, this is Jay Cutler's season in a nutshell. Only a 3-man rush. Everson Griffin is able to get to Jay Cutler. He can't wait any longer to throw the football. So, of course, he's going to end up being short. Just doesn't have enough time, not enough protection. Again, with only a 3-man rush and 5 guys blocking for you, you've got to be able to protect your quarterback better than that.
So all Mike Zimmer's team needs to do is to take a knee and run this clock out. The Vikings 13-9 lead and heading for a 7-9 finish.
7-9 sounds a lot better than 6-10. That's something we talked with Mike Zimmer earlier in the week. He really wanted to end this season on a high note. And the players, in particular, Teddy Bridgewater talked about it, taking the momentum they've been able to carry this season and take it into the offseason as they continue to build this team.
Meanwhile, the Bears will finish at 5-11. Last time they had a record like this, 2004, 5-11. 5 straight losses to end the year. For the Vikings, they avoided a 10th loss. They had 3 out of the last 4 years with double-digit defeats. That will end. And 9 of their last 10 games decided by 8 points or fewer, so they're really right on the brink, don't you think, Brady?
They are. I mean, I think if you're a Vikings fan, you've got to be excited about the potential of next season and what this team can do. And then in 2 years, you got a new stadium. You're back indoors. You don't have to worry about being outside in December in these cold games here in Minnesota.
Well, it was a pleasure working with you. You've got a great future, and you're a friend, and you've got a lot of ability, and you work very hard.
I've learned a ton this season. It's truly been a pleasure, and Dick, thank you so much for all your help.
So for Brady Quinn and Christina Pink, Dick Stockton saying so long. Right now, let's go to the State Farm Game Break Show with Kurt Menefee and the boys in Los Angeles.
Welcome to the State Farm Game Break Show.
So another rough finish for the Bears. Minnesota wraps up the season at 7-9. We'll get you a little bonus coverage right now before we get you out to America's Game of the Week. The Houston Texans trying to get into the playoffs. They need to win and get some help. J.J. Watt has been J.J. Watt in this game against Jacksonville. He's got 3 sacks and a safety, plus a fumble recovery. Trying to keep his team alive. Here's Chris Myers.
We welcome those of you that watch the Cowboys and Redskins.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 34. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
With Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, and the Texans need help and need to win to get into the playoffs. J.J. Watt with a 3-sack day and a safety. Case Keenum with a couple of touchdown passes in his second NFL start after going 0-8 in his career. The Texans lead by 6, but they need San Diego and Baltimore to lose, and they need to win to get the last AFC playoff spot. After the penalty, first down, Jags with a timeout. Pass for Todman goes out of bounds. Todman had a touchdown catch. That's incomplete over on the sideline. And we welcome those of you that watch the Saints defeat the Buccaneers in Tampa Bay, along with former Buck Rondé Barber, Chris Myers and crew. Jacksonville with Blake Bortles trying to rally, trailing by 6. The Texans trying to win their 9th game of the year and stay alive for the last AFC playoff spot. On second down, Bortles for Lee, and it's incomplete.
Well, it's been a game where Blake Bortles and this Jaguars offense hasn't been able to get anything going. Still not 200 yards passing. Their 2 scores have been one off a defensive touchdown and interception, the other on a turnover that they ran a trick play and scored. So far today, no third downs, 0 for 9 on third down, and this is the biggest one of the game if you're a Jackson Jaguars fan.
J.J. Watt with 3 sacks and a safety for the Texans. On 3rd and 10, incomplete. Alan Hearns, who was out much of the game with an ankle injury, was the target, and it's 4th down.
And obviously, Gus Bradley is leaving his offense on the field. Haven't converted any third downs. How about a fourth down? Something's got to go right for this offense. Blake Bortles, they've asked him to throw the ball 27 times today. He's only completed 12 of those passes.
Bortles on fourth down to Cecil Shorts for a first down inside the 45. And the rookie quarterback hung in the pocket and delivered a strike.
Did a good job standing in his pocket. Knew he had to stay in there to deliver it. And give credit to Luke Jokel over here. Watch him on J.J. Watt. Give him just enough time for quarterback to step up and deliver a strike for his first down.
A gain of 18.
He says he's never out of energy, but he's playing hard today.
We have reached the 2-minute warning. Jacksonville on the move, trailing by 6.
Lieutenant, fire department says you can't smoke here.
Tell the smoking house behind me.
Gross.
Despicable.
Lazy.
And yet, I'm in charge.
Backstrom to Savant. How did you know about that?
It's called genius.
Backstrom catches bad guys by putting himself in their head.
I'm a paranoid psychopath. I'm a rat-faced podiatrist. I'm you.
What do you mean you're me?
Oh! I gotta hang up. We're looking for lesbians in a shed.
Do you believe Gotham can be safe?
So you're Penguin. So what?
The Penguin. I'm done being careful. You think you've been careful?
Gotham returns Monday, January 5th.
Expect very malicious, violent things to happen.
Let the countdown begin. It's the best place to see the ball drop. The Big East New Year's Eve Marathon starts New Year's Eve on Fox Sports 1.
Finding a superstar's never been more fun.
What are you gonna sing?
I have Paramore under my sleeve.
Is that uncomfortable?
American Idol, the 2-night premiere begins January 7th on Fox.
From sizzling Miami, it's Pitbull's New Year's Revolution, New Year's Eve on Fox.
Offensive coordinator Jed Fish of the Jags, Romeo Crennel coordinating the defense for the Texans. One timeout, Jacksonville. Bortles is going to keep and keep and keep. Blake Bortles down to the 10-yard line of Houston.
Well, they knew what he was about. Blake Bortles. We got an injury to A.J. Boye on the field now, but we know that Blake Bortles is an athlete. Coach says it. The Jaguars know it. The Texans know it. And J.J. Watt gave him a lane there trying to get around on that rush. What a big play.
Well, he is second on the team in rushing. Bortles came in averaging just under 7 yards a carry. And when you count that one of 34, he has run 3 times today for 61 yards. Of course, he has also been sacked 5 times, as Boye is the injured Texan player. And he was the one who was involved in keeping Bortles from getting more. And as they work on Boye, we certainly hope he is okay. For those of you joining us moments ago, the Texans with playoff hopes. Case Keenum suffering the interception. It was tipped. That's Dwayne Gratz running it back for a touchdown, and then trickery after a fumble. Cecil Shorts to Todman for a touchdown. And then Andre Johnson, the second touchdown toss from Keenum. J.J. Watt, one of his 3 sacks today, getting a safety, getting Bortles in the end zone.
J.J. Watt was dominant early in this football game, came back just there and on that safety and dominated again, gave them 2 more points. But Left them one shy here. If Jacksonville can get in the end zone, they'll leave here with some heartache.
San Diego is about to lose in Kansas City. Baltimore has a 10-point lead with a minute 40 to go at home against the Browns. Jacksonville trying to win its 4th game of this season. They've had come-from-behind wins over Tennessee and the Giants this year. Bortles looking for the end zone and incomplete for Cecil Shorts. The Jags haven't won a road game in more than a year. And Marquise Lee and looks like Jonathan Joseph collided and are both in pain in the end zone. Now we're under 2 minutes and each team has 1 timeout remaining. Again, the playoff scenario: if Baltimore wins and the Chargers lose, the Ravens are in. If Baltimore should lose and the Chargers lose and the Texans win, then Houston gets in. As the medical staff tending to the players, and we'll try and see exactly what happened. The Jacksonville rookie receiver Marquise Lee still down, and Joseph now being helped. Jonathan Joseph also being worked on.
The last injury to A.J. Boye lost a timeout for the Houston Texans. Have to determine if they lose another one here, but let's watch. Jonathan Joseph here is not covering Marquise Lee, but as this ball gets thrown, you see a whole mass of bodies come into this picture here, and knee to knee, looks like. And we just heard both teams are going to be charged a timeout here.
Injury
timeout. So there's no timeouts left in this football game.
The last Jacksonville road win came at Cleveland, December of 2013. 8 straight road losses. They did win here, but that was some time ago. A minute 35 now. No timeouts for either team on 2nd down. Bortles' throw is caught. Hearns goes out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down and goal to go, Jacksonville. They're running the clock out in Baltimore. 35 seconds. And counting down with a 10-point lead. And counting down in Kansas City. And if this stands, the Ravens will go to the playoffs. Texans trying to hold on to get their 9th win. Bortles, end zone high and incomplete. Mercedes Lewis was back there, but well covered by Daryl Morris.
And that's the matchup they had. I mean, Blake Bortles has to make a better throw here. You got a 5'10" corner lined up out there on Mercedes Lewis, who's about 6'7". And he doesn't even give him a catchable ball. The thing sailed 2 or 3 yards over his head. Big 4th down play here. Let the crowd take it.
And the Ravens have won, defeating the Browns 20-10, coming from behind. Kansas City has beaten the Chargers. Can the Texans hold on? Bortles, end zone. A juggling out-of-bounds grab, no good. Shorts is arguing. He made a great effort. Ruled no catch.
No argument there. He was definitely out of bounds when he caught this ball. And 4th down, into the game, all-out blitz. Blake Bortles does a good job running away from the pressure, but delivers this ball just a tad too far out of bounds. And despite the great catch, Houston is going to sneak away here with the win.
Gus Bradley said his rookie quarterback, who they had hoped would sit through the first year but pressed into duty, showed no fear in an impressive drive with the game on the line. But it ends with an out-of-bounds catch on 4th down. A minute 21 to go and no timeouts remaining. The Texans will run the clock out on a 9-7 season. Kansas City defeated the Chargers 19-9. The Ravens beat the Browns 20-10. Bill O'Brien, his team will end with back-to-back victories behind Case Keenum, who has become a local favorite, but not enough to get the Texans into the postseason. Today's game, a Mike Burke's production. Director Michael Frank, Tom Lynch, our technical director, with Ernest Bauer, Mike Strack, broadcast associate, our associate director, Tavis Strand, Kevin McCloskey and Chip Weaver, always outstanding on audio. We want to send our best wishes out to Bob Stenner, who for so many years, whether you know it or not, has been a part of your NFL broadcast viewing habits. His last game officially today, resting at home. We wish him well. And we thank all of you for watching the NFL on Fox. We'll have bonus coverage. Coming up, most of you will see the Packers and Lions. Some will see the Cardinals and 49ers, others the Seahawks and Rams. But J.J. Watt, with an MVP-like performance, helps the Texans hold off Jacksonville in an AFC South clash with a 23-17 win here in Houston. For Rondé Barber, Chris Myers, our entire crew, glad to have you watching the NFL on Fox. Coming up next, it's the State Farm postgame show.
Welcome to the State Farm Game Break Show.
And before we get you to America's Game of the Week, we're going to get you some bonus coverage right now. The Dallas Cowboys, they've already won the NFC East. There's an outside chance they could wind up with the #1 seed depending on what happens in the late games today. They took care of business at Washington. Less than 2 minutes left. They're up by 20. Here to finish it off for Kevin Burkhardt, John Lynch, and Pam Oliver.
Here comes the posse. That's Tyrone Crawford, the 3 technique, the under tackle that is running downfield and hits that ball to get it out. That's tremendous effort and hustle. And that's what gives this defense that doesn't have a bunch of stars an opportunity to do something special in the postseason.
I want to thank those of you who've been watching a ton of the games that have ended from earlier, including the Texans win over Jacksonville, along with Pam Oliver, John Lynch. I'm Kevin Burkhardt here in Landover. The Cowboys are on their way to an undefeated road record. They have been terrific all day. This is the first time the backups are in. They played the starters all day long. Brandon Weeden in. Here's Randall, right up the gut. Backups in, same result, touchdown. 65 yards and no flags. On a day DeMarco Murray breaks into the Cowboys record books, Joseph Randall wanted a piece of the action too.
Joseph Randall says, I can do this too. DeMarco Murray, you want to give him some dap. Jim Haslett, he committed everybody to stop that run. So there's no safety in the middle of the field. And once he breaks Joseph Randall, that first wave, he's gone.
Jason Garris told us it was 0-7. That taste in his mouth when they had wrapped everything up and they came here and got beat up. He didn't want it to happen again, and it's not.
No safety right there, Kev. You get through the guys in the box, and it's out the door, and it's Travis Frederick and Zach Martin. 2 of those guys going to the Pro Bowl along with Tyron Smith. That offensive line paves the way, and all Randall has to do is find that hole, break 1 tackle, and he is gone. This team can run the football and run it well.
174 yards rushing now. Randall with the big run. DeMarco Murray, another 100-yard game for him and a touchdown. It's all working for Dallas, and exactly what Jason Garrett wanted. That toughness factor to stay hot, continue to play well. Starters have been in. They've all played well, and they're going into the playoffs on about as hot as a mode as you can possibly be. And the big 3 today, all big games.
Telling you, we asked Jay Gruden what he thought about this team, talking about Dallas's prospects. He said, they've got everything it takes to do a lot of damage, and went on to mention they've already gone up to Seattle, so that confidence moving on. They've beat some of the best teams in this league. Jason Garrett has done a fantastic job, and he's got a big smile on his face, as he should.
Well, John, we told you about the teams joining us today. The Ravens today won. The Chiefs beat the Chargers, so the Ravens are in the playoffs. They're going to get that spot in the AFC. Wild early games going on. You know the Cowboys are in. They can get a first-round bye or first-round seed with a lot of help later in the late games. Right now, we know they're in. And for more, it's 7-game break with Joe Clapp.
All right, Kev, we've got a huge one coming up this afternoon. Green Bay hosting Detroit as Aaron Rodgers tries to lock up the NFC North. A first-round bye also on the line for Matthew Stafford and the Detroit Lions. It's America's Game of the Week. It's next, and it's on Fox. Kevin and John.
And Joel, the Cowboys could see one of those teams next week. Today's game being produced by Pete Macheska, directed by Artie Kepner, the associate director Eric Mandia, broadcast associate Tyler Dare, technical producer Clyde Taylor, technical director Tom Maslak. Pre-game show produced by Bill Richards and directed by Stephanie Medina. Audio, Jeff Cohen doing a fantastic job. Jeff Nelson on the stats. Mitch Smith, Bill Harmon, our spotters up in the booth, and a tremendous crew that, John, we are lucky to work with all year long.
We sure are. Some of the best in the business, and they make it fun to come to work every single week.
Our camera folks who travel with us: Mike Tatamir on the low end zone, Dan Steele, Grant Dobbins, who's usually up here in the booth, Keith DeSantis. There's Keith with Franklin and Tate. Mike Abdullah back there too, and Scott Valor. We all travel every weekend. And don't forget Diana Caputo back there too.
Offense,
we get a penalty
number 82,
here.
5-yard penalty, still second down.
We have Justin Galitas back there, tabbing up all the numbers you see on the screen, along with Josh Weingrad. 17 weeks go by in a blur, don't they?
Dobby.
Dobby's outside today.
Braving the elements.
Aaron Combs is our first down lineman. Mike Marini behind the scenes. Johnny, there's a lot of work that goes in that makes us try and look good.
No doubt.
Here with Pam Oliver every week in front of the camera, but so much happens that if you saw, you'd probably be amazed. That's for sure. Tell you who's amazed right now, Cowboys fans, because their team is red hot. And for Washington, while you saw some positives, got a lot to think about going into this offseason.
I'm flipping the script on you as we close here today. Tony Romo, you think MVP? Aaron Rodgers, MVP.
Boy,
someone else.
That's really tough. How about this? Let's see how Aaron Rodgers plays against the Chiefs. We'll make that call. But Romo is right there in the decision. DeMarco Murray going to be the rushing champion. And that'll do it here from Landover, Maryland. The Cowboys finished the year undefeated on the road. They win the NFC East, and they are red, sizzling hot going into the playoffs with the destruction of their rivals here today. That'll do it here from Landover. It's the Cowboys winning it big, 44-17. Right to the studio we go.
Welcome to the State Farm Game Break Show.
America's Game of the Week is on the way as Aaron Rodgers and the Packers will take on Calvin Johnson and the Detroit Lions. The winner captures the NFC North title and a first-round bye for the playoffs. And as long as that game doesn't end in a tie, the Seattle Seahawks, they can clinch the #1 seed and home field advantage throughout the playoffs with a win over the Rams. Some of you will see that game. Others will catch the Cardinals against the Niners. Ryan Lindley gets the start for Arizona, and our own Jay Glazer is reporting Jim Harbaugh will be fired as soon as tomorrow, meaning this would be his last game in front of the home folks in San Francisco. As we welcome you to the State Farm post-game show, let's catch you up on the highlights. A couple of teams in the fight for that last wild card spot in the AFC. All San Diego had to do was beat Chase Daniel in Kansas City, and they were in.
Chase Daniel getting his start. Young man out of South Lake Carroll finding Bo fumbles and recovered by Travis Kelce in for a touchdown. So it's 10-0 early. Kansas City on top of